everyone, welcome back to this YouTube channel. This is Business Focus with Tosin, your favorite channel for everything business. As you all know, on this channel, we are always bringing you phenomenal personalities who have done excellently well for themselves in their various fields of business. And today is not an exception. We have brought you someone special. But before I go into it, I'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed to this channel. You are wonderful. We love you, and I'm sure you love us too. Are you there and you haven't subscribed to this channel? What are you waiting for? Do that right now, right now. Click on that subscription button, and don't forget to click on the notification button too, so that you can get notified when we bring the next video up, and you will be the first to be notified. Like I said, today I'm super excited because I have with me a trailblazer, someone who has done marvelously well for ourselves. You will be wowed when you meet her in a bit. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Bernice Richard is a serial entrepreneur and a writer. Since immigrating to Canada in 2013 from Nigeria, Bernice has co-founded 7 businesses and also self-published 6 books. Isn't that phenomenal? She is currently the Chief Operating Officer at Costume Agricultural Intelligence Incorporated, and she's a recipient of Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Medal for her contributions to Saskatchewan's education and arts community. She's also one of the top 100 Black women to watch out for in 2022. She's also received several other awards, and she'll tell us about that in a bit. You will get to meet my guest in a bit, but just wait a little and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's get to meet my guest. Hello, Bernice. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so excited to have you here, joining me on this episode today. And I'm sure my guests are eager to meet you.
For sure.
So let's get right into it. Tell me, 7 businesses in 7 years. That's unbelievable. How did you do it?
Well, Custom Ag Intel is one of the main businesses that I have. How did I get into it, or how did I get into all my companies? No, it wasn't given to me. I worked hard and I did it from scratch. So every business I own is satisfying a need. We've tried over the last few years to ensure that we are creating value in everything that we do. And I always tell people that the first amount that we made in business was $200, and we started with our line of credit cards, and then we moved on to where we are right now. It's been a slow progression, believing in what we do and continue to try and offer value in everything that we do. So that's how we got here. It's been through hard work, through getting the job done, sleepless nights, but getting it done. Custom Ag Intel as the main one. I am also a writer, so I have my own publishing company. I run Power Gifting Service, which offers gift boxes to several people in the community, especially my farmers as well. I have a house in operation. So most of my companies are intertwined to ensure that it is needed, and that's why it's 7. It's a big number, but they're all within each other, basically.
Awesome, that is good. And let's talk about it, because you just mentioned now, yes, you weren't given. So you heard that she wasn't given the businesses. She worked hard for them. And I know that starting all those businesses would have involved a lot of decision making, compromises, and things like that. Are there inner struggles that you had to deal with? Most entrepreneurs having to start a business will involve fighting with some inner struggles and all that. Are there some inner struggles that you had to deal with to start any of those businesses, and how did you overcome them?
I think that one of the things that I had to get over myself is realizing that I am an adult. There isn't a red flag or a flag that says, all right, now you switch from being mommy's girl to being able to make a decision. Life just happened, and then you find yourself being in charge of something. And so for me, I guess it took me a while to switch my mindset to, this is my decision and I'm responsible for my decision. That was a struggle. believing that every single person around me in this world is also doing the same thing. We are all figuring life out. There is no one path. There is no one decision. There are several decisions and there are several consequences. And so the minute I began to understand that, I realized that my decision will be as best as the information I have with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have information I need, I make a decision, and whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I pray that the best decision I have made is from the good information. It doesn't always work out that way. I think anyone that has done anything has failed several times. I am no exception. You have 7, but I have failed in almost 9 other companies.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how life is, learning from your failures. I have done better because I have experience. I have an idea, I open a company, and it's as simple as that. I don't have to brainstorm and figure out the angles, because I realize until you get into a business, you don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
You learn on the job. And if you wait for all your cards to be right before you start, you're going to be waiting a long time. And that's just what I have done.
Wow. And I like that part. I like where you ended it. Like, you get into it. Don't wait for when you have everything together. And that brings me to my next question. 7 businesses, 7 years at the same time, self-publishing your own books. Did you learn about business in school, or have you done businesses in the past before you came to Canada, or what's your experience like?
I have 0 business experience.
Oh my God.
I have a BSc in biochemistry, and I also have a degree in market research. But I have always worked as soon as I could. I have always been in companies.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found myself, I am very curious. I am constantly trying to see what I can do. I worked in flour mills, Nigeria for about 1.5 years before I came over to Canada. And even though I was in the marketing department, you would see me in engineering, you would see me at the seaport, you would see me in the production, you would see me in the bakery. I have so much energy, I never sit still. And so for me, it was important for me to learn as much as I could during my internship growing up. The companies I worked with before I started working in flour mills, I was curious about the entire process. So my curiosity is basically what I took into my business. I want to do something. How can I get it done? And I keep trying until I get it done. So it's always been about trying to figure things out as I go, and that's how I entered business. There is no degree. I've learned nothing except on the job, and while I'm on the job, I'm very good at research. And Google, the internet, is a beautiful information field. I research a lot so that I can make good decisions, and because of that, I learn about the different aspects of business, and that's helped me so far.
Wow. So that's what I can refer to, like accidental entrepreneurship. Like you just found yourself being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
No knowledge of anything,
Yeah.
but curiosity helped you.
Yes.
Fantastic. I have to do a lot more around that. Okay, so let's talk about the business itself, running the business. I'm curious about the challenges you would have faced. I know that running a business is not like a walk in the park. There are so many challenges you would have faced. So I'm curious to know the various challenges that has come up, especially as a Nigerian Canadian woman working in the agricultural industry in Canada. Were there issues, maybe not issues, but challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome?
Well, I think that it's important to accept the fact that everything is going to be challenging. Pick your challenge, right? There has been a lot over the last few years, and there is still a lot right now. It's part of life. So from figuring out how to ship a product from one place to the other, from trying to get the right formulation to make so that the farmer gets a good yield, to creating, first of all, my first book, Brave Chris. I wanted to get a hardcover book, and I found that there was nobody in Canada that made it. And so I went overseas, I got it made, but then I'm stuck with so many copies that I don't even know what to do with it. And so, but then I figured out about self-publishing online, and then I went that route for the rest of the books. But then again, I did not know about that because I didn't know what to do until I started doing it. So I figured out how to solve problems when the problem comes. Like when I couldn't find who to publish my book, I found a publisher out of the country. When I have too many copies of my books, I have book readings. I gift it out right now. It's something that I'm glad I did now because I have so much to give to kids around the world.
Mm.
I have sent my books to Kenya, a lot of foundations because I had those copies. Now, it was an inventory issue that I solved by using it as a gift. So for my business, figuring out how to ship a product to a farmer or having to walk overnight because the batch that was made went bad. When it goes bad, you solve it on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
So we've definitely gone through our share of challenges trying to run our companies, but it's always been, what can we do? How do I solve this? I always tell my employees, when you come to me with a problem, the question is, what do you want to do? Like, don't just tell me what the problem is, tell me what the solution is. You always have to have a solution. And so in my organization, running my businesses, it's been, how can I solve this problem? How can I help? So I find I'm always very nervous about saying that, racism does play a role in having you in front of the right doors. But the truth is, I am a foreigner in a foreign land, and I am an outsider. We are called visible minority, something we have to take. And that is always going to be something you deal with. You deal with it everywhere you go to. You deal with how people perceive you. You deal with it because you are asking questions to know, but then shouldn't you know already? But you don't know. So you have to deal with those insecurities from coming from a place of being everywhere to being one in a crowd that you say hi and give the head nod to. I see you, I hope you're doing great, because it's great to see you around me as well. We are visible minorities, and that on its own has some challenges, but I don't see it as a restriction. I get in front of people, I want to be in places, and I do not see my skin color or how I look as a problem. And I constantly overcome that challenge by putting myself in places whereby I am the only, but I am here. I might be the only, but I am here. I'm in this room. One of the things that you had mentioned in your introduction about the award, Queen Elizabeth II. When I went to the room, I went to my husband. We were the only two Black people in the entire room of about 100 and something people. But I was the only, but I was there. Mm-hmm. And that is important. So while it was a bridge that probably has not been crossed, I did it and I crossed it. And so that's how you overcome those challenges, by actually getting to the place and doing the thing.
Wow. I'm just caught in that, like, what? And you just summed it up. You may be the only one, but the truth is, you are doing it, so keep doing it. Wow. So let's go on up to about keep doing what you're doing. I'm still going to go back to the agricultural field and all that. There's been a talk all over the world about, of course, there's been increase in global population and also in Saskatchewan too. And of course, with increase in population, food has to be available to all. So I'm thinking with the increase in that and agricultural productivity being a topic that's been discussed everywhere all over the world, is your company looking at exportation or things like that? Because like one of the things you do is fertilizers and things like that. So are you looking at taking your products out of the country?
For sure. Canada has a 3 months growing season, and that is all. If you do not look out of the country, you will be restricted to 3 months, and that is the end. So definitely my organization is very interested. We've been a STEP member since 2017. We have conversations with EDC. It's a process because of what I do, because I'm a customized product maker. I don't have things over the shelf. So basically what we've been working on is trying to narrow down the most productive blend that we can have as something that we can ship out of the country. But our customization, the way we handle our farmers, involves meeting the farmer, doing a soil test, figuring out what's wrong and fixing the problem. That's a little bit harder when you don't have a broad spectrum product and there's a farmer in a remote part of the world that you want to help. So, but having a blend that is as nutritious as possible in the end product, and being able to ship that is something that we are actively working on right now.
Wonderful. That is good. Awesome. So, while you were talking, you talked about being starting the business and the challenges that you faced, and I was just thinking. I mean, you're a young mom, and when you started your business, probably your kids were even younger then. So I'm like, let's take it back. I know there would have been challenges at that time, but we're not talking about the challenges right now. I want to know, were there support for you? Because I know that some of our viewers, some of our subscribers are young women, young ladies, or young mom trying to start up their businesses, and they're looking around for support and things like that. Were there different kinds of support, or any kind of support that you had at that time that was able to help you navigate through that period?
No. I would say my answer is no. I think that the only support system that I've ever been able to count on is my husband. And we run the business together, so we are each other's support. It is very difficult to have a full family system needed to grow a healthy child in this environment, because only a few family members can be in a place at a time. My extended family, they're all over the world. So my husband and my 2 kids are my family, and that is the only support system that I have had in all these years. We've had my first son with me making the blend in the production facility, and he was in his car seat, thankfully sleeping. I have strapped my second son with me. He had a cot in my office while I'm going to make sure they're mixing the right blend as we began to expand. You know, my kids have been with me. I gave birth. A funny story I always say is that I gave birth on a Saturday, and I was in the bank on Monday to do transaction because my husband had to travel to see a farmer. But that's the truth about how it works, is that we have to have each other's back, because there was nobody else in where we were. And so my main support system has always been my husband, and that's how it's been. Now it's a little bit easier because I have met a couple of people over the last few years, and now I have a better tight-knit friends that I can call. But still, when we began running our business, it's always just been myself and him. And then nowadays we do have a couple of people that we like to call our friends, and we're thankful for that.
Wow. And I'm happy you did mention that you have something with young women in business and things like that. Tell us about that.
So in 2022 of last year, I started to do a little bit of an interview series called Drinks with Bernice, quite similar to this, but my focus was to converse with women entrepreneurs that were also mothers. So I would basically, research their life and say, okay, you have kids and you're doing this. I want to meet you because this is a way to figure out that, tell me you're not the only one that is like juggling and missing out and like trying to catch up.
How are you doing it? Let's share ideas.
And so Drinks with Bernice, for me, it's just a blog that I put on my website. I would always just discuss with the women and try and find out, like, what are you doing? How do you do it? Oh my God. And it's amazing because we are all living the same lives in different ways.
Yeah.
They also have their shares of struggle. Some of them have been lucky enough that they have family that helped them through the process. And that's always good to see because it tells me that I didn't have that, but I'm thankful for my experience. Some of them have had nobody, just like me. But, it's like, oh, wow, I figured it out and I'm glad you did too. And so it's just about that rubbing of mind chain of experience. And that's what I was doing with Drinks with Bernice, and I still do.
Wonderful. All right. We'll go on a short break and we'll be right back and we'll continue on this wonderful conversation. All right. Welcome back. I still have my guest here, Bernice Richard, a serial entrepreneur and a writer. All right, Bernice, let's go to another question. I know very well, and everyone will agree with me, that entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. So I'm wondering, are there experiences you've had around doing business in Canada or in your capacity as the Chief Operating Officer?
Definitely. I have had quite a few. One that is of note is one of the first few times I had to speak to a farmer. A farmer came over to our facility over in Sedley, Saskatchewan, and the farmer walked in, was supposed to meet with me. I arranged a meeting, and when he came into the conference room and he noticed that there was nobody joining us, he had to ask, is there anybody coming? And I'm like, no, it's just me. I'm Bernice Richard. This is my organization. It was a really interesting experience because he had a look on his face throughout the entire conversation. Like, I felt he was questioning who I was, and he left, and we never heard from him again. At the same time, I wouldn't want to say that my client base are all not. They know me from anywhere, but they use my product. So I've had a mixture of both experiences, the people that doubted what we did and the ones that are having a great year in the midst of the doubts, the drought that we have right now. Because I have my farmers calling, saying that everything's looking good. It's not the best year because there's no rain, but we're doing good. And that is good news for us. At the other side, I have also had experience trying to, as I said earlier, my first, the first funds we made was $200. And now when I remember in 2015, we're trying to get a loan. We put our paperwork together and then we approached BDC. We have a greater burden of proof, first of all. We have to submit a lot more documentation. And we did that, fingers crossed, trying to get through this process, but we still didn't qualify enough to get it. And then the reason that we were provided was not because of our financials. It was not for any reason. It was very ridiculous, which I will not mention now. So, but BDC is now a champion of Black businesses in recent years. But in 2015, they were not. We were an outlier, asking for something that they probably never given to anyone. And for that reason, they could not approve us for the loan we wanted. So I would say that my experiences have always been a mix. I've been fortunate even with a lot of no's to finally get a yes, and the yes sounds to a resounding yes, and that becomes a loyal customer. At the same time, you get lots of no's from a back. You get one person that says, okay, I believe in you, and then you can keep on going. And so I've had bad and good experiences, but that is my story and that is my journey so far.
Well, I like that. And in life, there are no's, but you don't give up. You keep going, and it's because you didn't give up that we're here today.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. So every time I sit with a trailblazer like you, I like to ask about work and family balance. So apart from being a serial entrepreneur, you are an author and you're also a mom. I mean, like, your hands are full already, but then how do you still find time to read books to children? You still give, you have books being given out, you do your power gifting thing and mentorship and giving back to the community. Tell us, how do you balance business and family, and you're able to have everything together? Tell us about it.
I don't think anyone has everything together. I am not a outlier, and I am not a genius. I would say that I try to focus in what is in front of me. What do I have to do with right now? And I like to plan everything. So because I've done this long enough, I have my day structured, and I spend my first few hours with my family. Then I come to work, and I am at work. Except there is a phone call from school for an emergency, I am at work. And then after work, I have my kids. And then when they go to bed, I have work again till I start the next day again. So basically having a lot of things in my calendar, scheduled, structured, managing, like I know when the entire family has to get, eye checkup, teeth checkup, full body work. I know I have at a time whereby I know I'm not so busy at work, I can take some time off to go get everything done. And trust me, it's like December, so it's not even doing that. So, I move all our, appointment to times whereby there is nothing. There are days that obviously I have everything all planned and I get a call from school saying my son is sick. Yeah. That's the end. I am done for the day. I'm rescheduling meetings as I'm driving out, just saying I can't make this right now. I have to get my son, and I get my son. You know, if I have my husband around, he would also take over and do the same thing. It depends on who's in the vicinity. So I like to always quote something that Shonda Rhimes said. She said that, you know, if you are succeeding in one, you are failing in the other.
Yeah.
When I am at work, I'm probably not a great mother, and I could not be because my mind and my focus is work. But when I'm home, I like to be there for my kids. I am all in. My phone is away, my laptop is shut until they go to bed. I am playing with them, watching cartoons with them. I love cartoons. I'm involved in, I know what toys are like as I play. I'm trying to understand what makes them who they are, because they are little human beings growing up and learning from my experiences. So I always switch my focus to what is in front of me, and I stay there until I have to transition to the next thing. And that's how I manage to juggle, but I am not in any way a superhuman. I am just trying my best every day.
Fantastic. And while you're talking about the toys and everything, I was just thinking in my head, you probably know all the rhymes, all the poems and everything, and you're probably doing that with the kids. And kids love that. They need us when they want us, and we have to be there. Wonderful. That is good. All right. So let us talk about your, let's put everything together, right? All your experiences running the business in Canada and all that. So I want you to, like I said at the beginning, your experience is what I can call an accidental entrepreneurial journey. So, but what will be your parting words to an immigrant out there struggling to find their footing in Canada? You know, there are a lot of people who even have had businesses in their home country before coming to Canada, and they're struggling to start up. Some people didn't have that experience just like you, but they want to get into the business, but they're struggling to find their footing. What will be your parting words to them?
I would like to say that don't limit yourself. And this is the title of my keynote speak when I do go out for speaking engagement, is don't limit yourself. It is very important for you to understand that your story is your power. Everything you've gone through in life has brought you to this point where you are in for a reason. I wrote because of what I had gone through growing up, my kid having a need. I am in business, and I am so passionate about having healthy food because I had such an unhealthy childhood. I was sick for such a long time thanks to bad nutrition. So I'm so intent on trying to make sure that I'm playing the part in the food that gets to your table is healthy. My story is what I use to grow and do what I do. I love giving gifts, and that's why I have power gifting. I've used everything that makes me who I am to try and find a way to give back to the world. So don't limit yourself. Use what you have to get what you need, and keep trying. Failing should never be a stopping point, because everybody fails. One of the things I love to read are biographies of people, because their stories just make me understand that there is nothing unique about you. Like, you're so focused on people, I don't want people to see me fail. Fail. Get up. Keep going. Fail 500 times, but keep going. That failure and you dwelling on it and focus, people are going to think that I fail, is what's going to stop you from your next big breakthrough. Our first company in Canada failed. But if we had stopped then, we would not be here. I have had companies that I have closed down. Dandelion Greenhouse, Greenhaven Greenhouse. I closed all those down because they did not work. And I might still close some as we go, because if it's not working, learn from the lesson and just keep going. So don't fear failures. Don't limit yourself. Your story is your power. That's how you live this beautiful life that we all have. Yes.
Amazing. It's a beautiful world that we have right there. Thank you so much, Bernice. I've enjoyed every minute of our conversation today, and I'm sure someone out there has gained a lot from your experience. And there you have it. It's been an amazing time discussing with my guest today. Like I said, her name is Bernice Richard, a serial entrepreneur and a writer. And she has told us a lot about her experience and how she's been able to navigate this journey. She's told us that, she's done businesses in the past that have failed, but she never gave up. And that's what she said, your story is your power. What's your story? What's the next big thing that you can get to if you don't quit at the point you are right now? You may receive several no's, but a yes is coming your way very soon. You know how we do it? This is the show. This is the video for you, Business Focus with Tosin, where we bring trailblazers, phenomenal personalities who've done so well for themselves in their fields of business. And it is to impact you and impact me to go ahead and achieve our dream. Till I come your way next time with another person, another successful business owner in our community, this is me saying bye, and don't forget to go chasing your dream. Thank you. Bye for now.